Welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence for Shopify Ask the Experts, our bi-weekly live show and podcast that features expert interviews and case studies to show you what to do and what's new in Shopify and e-commerce digital marketing for 2022 and beyond. Ask questions, suggest topics, and grow faster with actionable insights and proven strategies from the world's leading Shopify and e-commerce marketing experts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence for Shopify Ask the Experts. I'm your show host, Marissa Morgan. I'm also the business development manager here at Engage. On behalf of myself and the entire team at Engage, I want to wish you a happy St. Patty's Day, and I want to welcome you to today's show. I'm going to be introducing you to an amazing guest in just a few minutes. She is the owner of a global fragrance brand, and she's going to be joining us to talk about a few of the pain points that she has successfully solved in her very successful Shopify store and e-commerce presence. So I'm going to introduce her in just a few minutes. This really is a case study. We're going to learn about what has worked for her global beauty fragrance brand in terms of growing in the competitive world of e-commerce, specifically on Shopify. And we'll learn her pain points and how she overcame them. Before I introduce you to our special guest, though, of course, I want to take a moment and welcome you to today's show and remind you that after my talk with our special guest, of course, I'll be sharing our Engage digital marketing news of the week. So you want to stick around for that. Before we get started, I want to share that all of this incredible, invaluable, irreplaceable content is brought to you by Engage. If you're not familiar with Engage, well, I want you to get familiar because next week we are launching our first ever SMS messaging for Shopify stores app. If you have an e-commerce business, if you are on Shopify and you're not using SMS, you are missing out on so many opportunities to grow your business, to curate a beautiful customer list, to promote new products, because right now the open rate for SMS messages is about 98%. Did you know the open rate for emails these days is only about 20%? So I want to encourage you to check out the Engage SMS messaging for Shopify stores app. It's launching next week. We'll continue to bring you more information as we get closer to our launch date. But it gives you the opportunity to easily build your customer list, grow and scale faster, save time with automations, and of course, promote new products with targeted, personalized campaigns. It's also awesome because it's a no-code support app. So it's basically bot supported, no code. So it's very easy to use, even without a technical staff. And I know many of our viewers are small to mid-sized businesses. Maybe you don't have the support of a technical staff. Don't worry, our app is so incredibly easy to use and easy to integrate. And to celebrate the launch of our new app next week, I want to let you know that we are offering a 30-day free trial with 500 free messages that you can put right into play. You can start messaging your customers or your prospects and take it for a test drive. So stay tuned, more to come on that. If you're a Shopify store owner, you have to give it a try. The only thing you have to lose is the huge amount of business that SMS messaging can bring your Shopify store. All right, super excited about that, but I'm also very excited to introduce you to today's special guest. She is joining us from sunny California. Her name is Jennifer McKay Newton. And if you don't know who Jennifer is, you need to. Jennifer is the founder and CEO of Define Me. It launched in 2015, and Define Me is an award-winning brand that creates natural, clean, organic, and vegan, and also my favorite because I'm an animal lover like Jennifer, cruelty-free perfume, hair fragrance mists, perfume oils, bath and body products that are meant to empower and inspire the wearer. Their products are available at big name stores. You know them, Ulta, Macy's, how about QVC, and also available at over 1,000 hotels, spas, gift and clothing boutiques all around the United States. They also, and I think this is so cool, have a collaboration with Disney to create prestige adult fragrances for the Disney Princess Collection. My daughter, or not my daughter, my friend's daughter, by the way, Jennifer, is literally gaga for Elsa. She thinks she's Elsa. She braids her hair every day and wears blue. It's the cutest thing ever. So we'll have to check out these Disney princess parfums. With their Define Me Dollar program, for every dollar purchased, a dollar goes to the She's the First, which is a nonprofit that provides educational scholarships to young women in developing countries, which is awesome. A fun fact about Jennifer, even though she's married with kids, her favorite kid, well, his name is Hobbs. He's got 4 legs. He's a golden retriever. And Jennifer spends many of her weekends doing agility training with her golden retriever, Hobbs. And she is a big animal nature lover, which fits right in with your brand. We're talking organic, vegan, cruelty-free. Jennifer, welcome to today's show. Thank you so much for joining us and talking a little bit about your experience on Shopify and some of the pain points that you've overcome to be so successful in such a competitive beauty industry.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you got your business started. Where did this brand come up? Where did this idea come from? And what kind of affinity did you have for this beauty industry? Was this something you were always interested in?
Well, actually, in terms of the beauty industry, I mean, I always loved beauty, but not really, I was never really part of the industry. I started out as an interior designer, and I was a designer for a long time. I got my degree in art, three-dimensional design, interior architecture. And I was doing that for many, many years. And in around 2008, I sort of hit a career wall, if you will, and I wanted to change. And I went back to sort of my roots, my design roots, which were designing industrial products. Like I did a bunch of that in my college work, and I really loved it. I'm a creative person, and I wanted just to create, but I wanted to create things that were really about empowering, inspiring, creating well-being. So I actually launched in 2000. It ended up being in 2011. It took me a few years to figure all of this out. I launched a company called Pure Designs for Living, and in that business, I was creating these boxes that were for weddings and baby showers and housewarming, and they were it was like an eco-friendly, beautiful box that had all these components in it, and it was really for writing wishes, blessings, little notes to the person that was having the baby, or the person that was getting married. And part of that box was a candle, and we started creating these candles that were organic, soy. I was working with a candle maker in Northern California, and she sent me a bunch of her tea lights because we had to create the scents for each of the boxes. And all of the scents were kind of this generic, like vanilla or lavender or fig. And I was like, oh, these are kind of boring. And I really wanted to create just kind of basic, right? So I wanted to create something very interesting for each of the boxes. So I needed a box for wedding. I needed a box for baby. I needed a candle rather for housewarming and for healing. There was one for healing. Healing, we actually didn't do a scent because we were thinking about if they were being, if it was going to somebody who was going through cancer treatment or stuff, they're really sensitive to scent. And so I took her little tea lights and I actually melted the wax, and I was blending, making different blends. And then I sent them back to her, and I was just like, this is the one I want for, the baby. And it was like very, like soft and light and like sweet, and it was very like babyish, if you will. And then there was one for wedding, and I was like, well, what would a wedding one smell like? People, when they get married, they want to have this very specific like wedding scent, and which we've come to learn even more with having fragrances that go on that are personal and that go on the skin. But with candles, I was thinking magnolias and peonies and roses. So I created this, yeah. And that was very successful. People really loved the boxes, but they really loved the candles too. And as a business, this was my first sort of product-based business, consumer goods business. And I was really learning as I went through that and learning what works and what doesn't work. And at one point, I realized I had too many different categories in one business because I was also doing mugs for it and pens for it. And, we were a little bit all over the place. And the thing that that resonated the most with me was the scents, because people were saying, "Oh, when I smell this, it makes me feel this way." And when I ended up expanding the candles to being their own product. So it was, I am inspired, I am loved, I am grateful, and people really loved them. I kept getting emails from our customers saying, "Oh, when I'm, writing, I'm a writer, and when I'm writing, I love to light your inspired candle." And so I was thinking, there's something to this, and really the inspiration for doing that was to help promote well-being, that company. And scent is really connected to well-being. And I felt like there was this sort of need out there for women in particular to feel better about themselves, to have we have a lot of negative messages going through our minds, and we're very critical about ourselves. And I thought, well, scent is really connected to well-being, so why don't I create a scent that is based on creating well-being and bringing positive messages and inspirations to the wearer of the fragrance. So that's really why so then after 2000, it was 2011, and I was like, I'm going to create a fragrance. It started out for women, but now we are really inclusive because we do have men that wear our scents. And 4 years in, I ended up launching Define Me in 2015, and I haven't looked back. I mean, it was just a better fit for me. It was very focused. Focusing on just like scents and perfumes and body products was really resonated with me, and it was something that I felt passionate about and that I could get behind. And it really did fit that need for me to bring something out of the world that was about well-being. So
I love that.
like
I love that
7 years
background.
later.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you know what I think? I think what's really interesting is, the first thing I'm hearing is that you really started in a kind of a different space. Yes, also
Mm-hmm.
in, retail and e-commerce, but you figured out from almost testing that certain
Mm-hmm.
things in your box, right? Certain things that were in your collection were more well
Mm-hmm.
received, and for your customer were more inspirational and had more of an impact on their lives than some of the other things in these curated boxes. So what's interesting is that was almost a test in and of itself to see, what your target demographic wanted. And then you
Yeah.
ran with that and obviously have been so successful. What's interesting is those curated boxes have really become quite a big part of retail subscription-based boxes. So what's nice is
Mm-hmm.
now that you have your key brand and your much more niche fragrance line and body products line, you can always continue to, work that subscription-based world and obviously add your products to subscription boxes that already exist, and still be true
Yes.
to yourself and your brand. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, we actually are our marketing team, we're talking about doing a subscription box, like a seasonal one. It fits really well with our fragrances, and we'll have something exciting for, four times a year. And we've also participated in some of the bigger beauty boxes like Ipsy and FabFitFun. There are so many boxes out there, and some of them are great. They'll have just like clean beauty products, um, vegan and cruelty-free products and things like that. So those are definitely have been really great marketing levers for us as a brand, getting the word out. So,
Fantastic. Well, let's talk
mhm.
a little bit about, I know you had the box, the kind of curated box, original kind of game plan, but when you made the switch and launched Define Me, with the focus more on the fragrance and the body products, inspiring scents, how did you initially gain customers? Where did you start your brand? Was it in a, brick and mortar store? Were you always originally online? How did that start for you?
Yeah, so in 2015, and this was like a new category for me, a new business. So I wanted to make sure that it was going to work. So I signed up, I created our first 5 cents, and they were just little oils. And I signed up anywhere I could, local, where were people. So I started out to test market the product. So was the price point right? Were they going to like the scents? Did they care that we were, clean, vegan, cruelty free? Did they like the coconut oil as a base rather than a traditional, how they make fragrances traditionally, which is using dipropylene glycol? Did anyone care that we were giving back for every bottle to educational scholarships? Was that important to people? And so I signed up at local markets like Unique LA, anywhere I could go, anywhere where they were like, you can, bring your stuff and sell it to the public. And I would have literally like old school, like at the time, I mean, when I think about it, it's crazy how fast things have progressed, because I had a little clipboard, please leave your email, right? Like this was not that long ago. And so people would sign up. And then that's how really we started just our email marketing. We did have a website, but this was even before we were on Shopify. And so it was another website that was sort of hard to use. They didn't have all the app add-ons, et cetera, et cetera. And so my main focus was really connecting with retailers. And so I was thinking, I mean, this was me kind of not knowing what I was doing.
Well, you're doing
So
a
I
lot of
was like,
guerrilla marketing, really. You were
a
going out and putting
lot,
your brand in front of your target demographic to see how it was
a lot.
received, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. And then we got very fortunate because we started picking up smaller stores. But in 2016, a year after we launched, we went to a trade show and we were picked up by Ulta. And so that kind of took a lot of our attention, because we went from this little tiny brand to all of a sudden we've launched at Ulta Beauty. And it was incredible to me that they gave us a shot, because we're just like the small little indie brand, but they really did believe in what we were doing. And so that really kind of started that moment in time. Our focus was like, let's get people there.
Mhm.
And then, as we progressed, obviously Shopify came into our lives, and in many ways that was a game changer, because all of a sudden, I'm a huge Shopify fan, as you probably can tell. um, that became, it went from, oh my gosh, we have to make this change, let's talk to our coder, how do we do this, blah blah blah, to, oh my gosh, I can do this, like, and this will help us, and this is, and anyone can get on the back end from our team, and add a photo or change a price or change inventory. And it was sort of like this, just the accessibility and the ease at which the platform created for us as a small little indie brand was just huge. And I think before Shopify, D2C was obviously, something we wanted and a focus, but it was really challenging and it was really hard.
Mhm.
And so once Shopify came into our lives, and then we were like, originally we had our email list, and it was getting bigger and bigger because people, we would say sign up, and we really focused on creating a community of people. And so it wasn't just like bombarding people with, sale information or just product, but it was like, tips for books to read, empowering, tips and tricks and things like that. And so it was really about engaging in a bigger way and really getting back to the why we started this brand. And so those were the early days. So it became, once we clicked into Shopify, then we had our email marketing. I think we originally, I don't know if I should say who the names, but we ended up, currently we're with Klaviyo. That's our email marketing platform that we use, and it's been really good. So we do many other things now as we've grown, obviously, but that was sort of like the traditional original way we did it, was just showing up, getting people. We also were doing ads early on, like Facebook ads and Google ads, and just building our social media presence and doing ads through that. So that's really how we were originally getting people to our website.
Well, and it sounds like Shopify was a great fit for you because one thing that we talk about a lot is being a small or mid-sized business, you don't often have a
Mhm.
huge staff. It might just be you and a very small group of people that you manage that help you do certain tasks. It might be you and a personal assistant when you're a small business and you're just getting your feet off the ground. But from what I'm hearing from you, it sounds like Shopify was a great fit because it was very easy to use. You were able to integrate other things
Mhm.
into Shopify, and Shopify gave you an easy, should I say, canvas to do the things
Mhm.
that you wanted to do, change photos, update product SKUs, add products, you know, go ahead and integrate the email marketing you shared that you did. So that's fantastic. So, and I think, we're a big advocate of Shopify. I mean, the statistics don't lie. There's millions of businesses now that are using Shopify. It's pretty incredible. Um, let's talk a little bit about a few of your specific pain points that you've had as you've continued to grow and scale, because we're excited to share. Yes, you've been super successful. Your brand is growing. You're continuing to scale. Shopify is working in terms of being a great fit for your brand. But along the way, as any company does, you have a couple speed bumps. And you shared with me before the show two specific speed bumps. And I believe one of those was really, how to increase traffic, how to get more traffic to
Mhm.
your store. So let's talk about that. And then the second pain point that you shared with us was shipping logistics, tracking your
Mhm.
shipments, the cost of shipping. So let's start with the pain point that you had of trying to drive traffic to your store. What exactly do you feel the pain point was? And then how did you solve it? What were the steps that you and your team, or maybe it was just you or a company you hired, how did they help you overcome that problem?
It's not just me anymore. I couldn't handle this. Um, yeah. So, once and we knew we had a beautiful product. We knew that, our scent smelled good, and we knew that what we were doing was really good. So, but we're like, well, how do we have more people know about us? Like, how do we get the word out? And so what we've done is we've worked to build our social media presence, and we one of the things just to get people to our site was ads. So we've created we work with an ad team that is separate from our internal team, which I
Mhm.
think a lot of small businesses, instead of like hiring, an ads person, it's just, there are so many great ads marketing companies out there that you can work with. we really did our homework because it's so important to work with a great ads team. So recently, actually, we were working with a new company, and so we have our Facebook ads. We've just built out our Facebook ads and also our Google ads. And those are the two that we mostly focus on. We are, as you mentioned, TikTok earlier. I can get into that, but we're also looking to do more TikTok ads and build that out. The other thing we do is we have a rewards program. So we call it's our Goddess Goodies program.
Oh, cute. Love that.
And yeah, and we're actually going to be making some changes towards that because our focus for 2022 is D2C and growing our community, which is, it's just the foundation of who we are as a brand. And we've seen so much growth on our website, especially in the past 6 months. But once you, so the challenge becomes like, I would say, investing in ads and as it grows, just putting more capital into those ads. I mean, if you can do 30% a month or something like that, there's a formula that a lot of different people talk about, and you will just see it continue to grow and build. So we're bringing more people to the website. So how do we get them to buy? How do we get them to sign up for our Goddess Goodies rewards program? And so what we implemented last July is SMS. And for us, that's been a game changer. When you think about SMS, some people I know are like, they're hesitant because they're like, I don't want to bombard, I don't want to do this and that. But our SMS is literally a game changer. And I can tell you that once we implemented the SMS, 85% of our customers purchase on mobile. So that's where our customers are. They're on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And so we felt we had to come up with a way and a program where we're sending them messages, but we're not being annoying, and we're giving them good information and treating them like a VIP, if you will. So we've implemented our SMS. We have flows. So if sometimes I'll like last week, we decided to do an offer for International Women's Month, History Month. And we only sent it to our SMS customers, and so we treat them like they are part of the family. They're VIPs because it's very intimate, we're in their phones. And so we've had a lot of success that way. So we're getting people onto our website through all of our ads, our advertising, and then we're giving them an offer. So you have, your big offer, and then they are part of it. And if they don't want to, they can easily, opt out of it. So it's not like they're forced into something and, whatever. But a lot of people do take advantage of the 15% offer. And it's kind of if you go on our website, it's a decent size on the screen. And I think that's crucial. I think a lot of people have it too small and then it's kind of on the side and it kind of gets pushed away. I would recommend you having like a larger offer. And if people don't want it, they don't take it, but a lot of people do take it. And then we try to engage with them, and we try to have interesting content, not just like, boring kind of like, we just want you to buy our product, because we really do want to create a community. And we really do want to empower through our products and the different content that we use. So that's really how we do it. You've got the ads, the marketing.
Yeah. Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just asking you a question. Oh,
sure.
Here, let me just ask you a question. So just to back it up a little bit, I know you mentioned, you brought on a company to help you with your ads. So just to back it
Yeah.
up, because if someone's listening and they're like, okay, this is something I've been wanting to do, right? I've been wanting to get into creating these ad campaigns. I'm not sure how to do it. I want to hire a company. Just to take it down and make it real basic, what were the things that you did at the very beginning to decide on who to work with? Because I know you said it was important to work with a good company, but did
Yes.
you reach out to other companies for referrals, or did you find out who your competitors were working with, or did you just do a Google search and do some phone interviews? How did you originally decide on who to work with for your ad campaigns? Because that is a big thing. That's a
Right.
very important decision. That could kind of make or break a business,
Right.
how someone
So
does.
we have a in-house marketing team, and for us that works, and we have the ability to do that. So that's great because our emails that are going out are very brand specific.
Mhm.
And in my experience, it's been for us in our category of fragrance, it's been very important just to keep that brand identity and have it in-house, so we're on top of it.
Mhm.
And it's coming sort of like we're all in it, so our social matches our email marketing and so on. But ads for us were a whole different animal. And so what we did is we spoke to some of our vendors that we use, for SMS and whatnot. We reached out to people and said, hey, do you guys have can you recommend some good ads people? And I would say we narrowed the list down to about 10. And then again, that we looked at all the information. Our team had a meeting. We narrowed it down to 3 or 4, and we spoke to 3 or 4. The reason we chose the company that we're working with was all they do is ads. And I kind of
Oh.
joked, and they were like, yeah, I was like, so let me get this straight. All you guys do for 24/7 is ads, ads, ads. And they're like, yes. So I was like, perfect. And some of the other companies that we decided to not go with, they also did like email and other things. And I just felt like we had that down. I mean, it depends on your company. If you need help with everything, there are great companies out there that can help you with your email marketing, with everything, which is great. But for us, we just really wanted to get those ads experts in. And so that's how we selected them, is they were really strong. And one thing that I would really recommend is one thing that I liked about them, and that was sort of the deciding factor for us, was they had a lot of other brands giving their reviews, referrals. Like, we were able to speak to the other brands that they worked with. So that was really important to me. And that I was like, well, how do I know if this is all like true? How do I know that these numbers that you're saying are true? But they had a lot of great reviews, and also they gave us access to talk to some of their other brands they work with,
Or their other clients.
their
That's
other
important.
clients. Yeah.
We all know that
Mhm.
in any sort of retail setting, e-commerce world, we
Mhm.
all rely on testimonials and reviews, even
Yeah.
when we purchase products. So it makes sense that you would want to, of course, rely on true customer and client testimonials when you're looking to team up with a company to help you with something as big as ad campaigns. So great
Yeah.
tips on that. I think that's it's very easy too for a company to say, "Oh, well, we do this and this is our ratio and we're so successful and we have all these," but to be able to actually talk to a true client and get a one-on-one conversation going about their experience. I mean, I don't think anything can top that and give you the confidence, right, to move forward with that company or to
Right.
make you go, "Oh, I'm not sure this is the right fit for me."
Yeah.
Now,
And
now
also
I
the people, the team, and
Mhm.
you have to, when you're talking to the team, there has to be some kind of chemistry, and you have to kind of like say, because you're going to be working with them. We talk to them a couple times a month. We have meetings, we connect with them every week. So they have to be people that, we felt like we could work with, and that there was good communication between the two of us. So
That's important. We always say
yeah.
in any sort of business, people want to work with people they like, because these are
Sure.
relationships that are long-standing. So it makes sense. You
Mhm.
obviously want to make sure that there's chemistry there as well. Well, let's talk a little
Totally.
bit. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about some of the um, shipping hurdles that you've had to overcome, because you did mention that was another big pain point. So you've got your Shopify set up. You feel like it's really a great fit for your company. It's easy to use. You did your research and you went out and found a great company to help you with your ads. And you've got these great ad campaigns. You've got traffic going to your website. You've got a nice offer set up that's easy to read, easy to jump in on. You also have now employed SMS messaging. So you're reaching out to your customers, not just about
Mhm.
products, but about information that you think that would be beneficial or that they'd be interested in. So everything is working great. You've got sales like crazy, but now we've got shipping, which is a whole nother part of e-commerce. So not only do you have to ship things out and deal with the costs related to that, but you've got to track packages. You have to let customers know how to track their packages. Tell me a little bit about the problems you had there and what you did to overcome those problems.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me, especially with COVID and last year and the USPS, we used UPS and USPS to ship our products. And the biggest pain point, I think, especially during the holidays when it's really busy, is where's my package? And you are getting this question, where is my package? In emails, on social media. People will message us on Facebook, where is my package, with no, order number or
Oh,
so it's kind of, yeah, it's so you're just like, okay, so you need somebody constantly checking. And so the first thing is like, where's my package, to sort of solve that problem is we ended up signing up with Gorgeous, and they are, customer management system where it's all, on one basically platform. So we can see what people are asking us, because it's really important to respond to your customers as quickly as you can. And we don't have we are a small team. And so we don't want to miss those questions, because they think we're ignoring them and being rude. So customer service is so important to us. And it's something that we really focus on and take a lot of pride in. So having a system there where we just check several times a day, or, once an hour, all of the questions going in, and then we can communicate with our customers that way. We also have used the chatbot. So if
mhm.
somebody has a question about anything on our website, the other thing was packages not showing up, which is sort of every brand's nightmare, because when we take a lot of pride in how we pack. We ship out of our own warehouse here, and we when you buy on tofindmefragrance.com, we also sell on Amazon and Ulta and stuff like that. But when a customer buys directly from us, we take so much pride and put so much love into that package, um, that if it doesn't show up, it's kind of really, it's frustrating. And so we ended up working with a company called Route. And when you check out, you can click the route button. It's usually like $1. And for $1 route, if your package goes missing or anything, they just cover it 100%. So they've sort of taken that weight of us having to find out where the package is. Did it arrive? Was it stolen? What happened? And it just sort of takes that off our plate, and they handle that for us. So that's been really a key pivotal thing, especially during the holidays. And we're selling fragrance, and that's one of our busiest times. So that was just such a great app tool for us to plug into our Shopify.
I really love everything I'm hearing, because it sounds like what I like is that you have there's something we learned in our series over the last year. It's as an owner and as a, founder of this company, you want to be a part of everything. And because you're passionate about it and it's your baby, right? However, as you're going along and you're growing and scaling your baby and your business, and you are getting more
Mhm.
traffic, you've got the ads up, you're
Mhm.
using SMS to engage with your customers and give them offers, sign them up in your Goddess reward program. You're realizing as traffic goes, you've got these shipping things now that you need to manage. You're smart
Mhm.
because you do what you can do best, and you're learning how to delegate, right? How to do what you do and do it well, and employ, whether it's a company to do your ads, a company probably to do your SMS. You've got your in-house team doing your email, and now you've got this awesome customer kind of management platform.
Mhm.
Gorgeous. You're smart because you're learning how to delegate, so that allows you to have more time to do what you do best, right? Versus trying to do everything yourself. Because we all have strong suits. There's things we do well, but it doesn't make sense for us to do everything. And I think, for a small to mid-sized business, that's just a hard lesson sometimes to learn because we want to be a part of everything.
Right.
But I like though
Yes.
that it sounds like you still are a part of everything because you're able to easily tap into the gorgeous system or meet with the ad company, and have
Mhm.
them directly, interacting with your team. So you don't give up power. You just delegate and strategize and become more efficient when you do that.
Yeah, for us, we have an operations officer, so the operations really handles a lot of the shipping. And if the operations team was here, which is very small, but they would probably be able to be very specific, micro level detail on that. I know a lot of the macro, but I really oversee, product development and marketing. Pretty much. We do have a marketing director, but I work really closely with them and also sales and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you know, with Shopify, it really does afford us to like fix those pain points. It's like we have this pain point, what do we do? And we always, in a lot of small businesses, do this, but we're guilty as well. Is you wait until the last minute when you're like,
Mhm.
we need help. I mean, with the customer inquiries, questions, I mean, some people will say, how do I know this is my scent? Or, what do I, and it's just it, and we want to respond to them because we really do care. But I think it's funny because we always joke that people think we're a much bigger business than we are just because of all that we're able to do. But we're able to do those things because of the tools we use, through, especially specifically through Shopify.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's Before we wrap up our talk, because we are running out of time, isn't it amazing how fast time flies?
That is
Let's just
amazing.
Yeah, I just want to revisit. I have to revisit SMS for just a second because, of course, we
Hmm.
have an app that we're super excited to be launching next
That's
week.
great.
Tell me the biggest win that you feel like your company has had incorporating and using an SMS messaging software or piece of your puzzle. Is it just more customers, or is it more they're purchasing more because it's so easy that you can give them, more offers? What's been the biggest win for you that has been
I
a,
think
a
it's
part of
just
SMS?
as in our busy world, we're buying things.
Mhm.
And even for me, I'll speak on personally, like I'm signed up for some SMS and they're brands that I really love. And I'm just busy. And so I'll want to buy something and then I'll get distracted and forget about it. And then it'll pop up and I'll go, oh yeah. And then I'll buy it. And so for me, I think it's just being top of mind and being part of just their life in a way, like, in a good way. Because people that sign up for your SMS love your brand. They either want the discount code, but if they stay on, they want to be part of your community. And
Mhm.
so when you're in a community, you want to be reminded, you want to be rewarded for that, and also you want to be part of it. And so it's just a little a little like casual, friendly communication that we have. And I think that and also, like I said, the reminder, because a lot of times we're shopping and then we go, oh, I'm boiling the water. I have to go run and get that. Or if you're at work, you're like, oh, my lunch break is over, or whenever you shop.
Right.
And so just being top of mind, I think, and I think that's the magic of SMS, if you will, just being like part of this thing. And I'm a member of a few SMSs, and if you don't want to see it, just swipe delete. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like, and everyone is on their mobile phone. So if you want to be
Got mine
part of
right
somebody's
here.
world, yeah, I mean, it's like, if you want to be
Absolutely.
part of somebody's world, then
You
be
have
on
to
their
be on their
phone.
mobile phone. Well,
Yeah.
that was really great feedback. I'm so appreciative, and I know our audience is too. Again, SMS messaging has about I think, 85% open rate. I think no, 98% open rate. Hold on, I've got it right here. Yeah, 98% open rate
It's a
versus
game
email that
changer.
has 20%
It,
open rate. So, and one thing you
amazing.
mentioned, and I think this was very smart. So I want to give you some kudos. Your brand is all about building a community, right? Uplifting
Yeah.
and helping women, giving back to charities. So for you
Yeah.
specifically and your brand and the messaging, creating the SMS community is a perfect fit that if you didn't
Mhm.
have that, you'd be missing out not only on a huge chunk of sales, but you'd be missing that, like you said, that community feeling that your brand is really
Mhm.
promoting. Hey, I've got a question
Mhm.
for you from Lexi, one of our viewers. She's watching on Facebook. She wanted to know if the gorgeous, uh, customer management system was spelled gorgeous like you look gorgeous, or if it's spelled Gorgias.
Yes, it's Gorgias.
Perfect. Lexi, there
Gorgeous
you
is
go.
great if you get to the level where you can no longer handle the questions coming in, but you care, you want to answer the questions, but it's really great for that, to really kind of get everything in one spot.
Great
I
feedback,
recommend.
Lexi. And I want to
Yeah.
say hi to Lexi because she's actually developing her own beauty brand.
Oh,
So I think it's perfect that she tuned in for today's show. And she does say thank you so much. So,
good
Lexi,
luck,
you're very welcome.
Betsy. Best
Yeah.
of luck.
If you have any other questions, Lexi, she says she's taking notes. She's just dropped a little pad and paper. She's taking notes. Lexi, if you have
Good.
any other questions, we've got a few more minutes with Jennifer. So just to wrap up and kind of summarize some of your pain points and some of the thoughts you've shared, and interject if I'm wrong, but Shopify for you has been a home run. It's been a great fit for your brand. You love how easy it is to use, how easy it is for your small team to get in and
Mhm.
actually do things themselves, how easy it is to integrate with other software, other apps, other systems. So that's fantastic. And we've had a similar experience with most of our guests, big Shopify advocates. And then
Yes.
really the major pain points were
Mhm.
trying to drive traffic to your store and shipping logistics. Now, driving traffic to your store, the first thing you did, not the first thing, but of course, you started doing ads to drive
Mhm.
traffic, and you actually hired a company whose niche was specifically ads, and you got some referrals, read some testimonials, talked with some of their clients in order to make that decision. And then next, you got into the SMS world. You started to create a community. You said, I want to be where my customers are. My customers are on their mobile phones. So SMS for you was a big win. So those were two of the big things you did to help drive traffic. And then when we talk about logistics and shipping, Gorgeous has helped you really kind of
Mhm.
filter through and keep tabs on all your customers' inquiries, which has been huge. And then I think you mentioned one other thing that
Route.
you, what was it?
The route for shipping. So route ensures the package gets there. If the package doesn't get there, they take it off our hands. We don't have to worry about it. They replace the product. It's super easy.
That sounds really easy. And especially for
Yeah.
a smaller company, right? With a
Mhm.
smaller staff, just one less thing you have to worry about. And you can focus all of your energies and your creativeness and all the good that you're doing into your products and your messaging and building your community. Awesome. Really quick, I don't know if you're open to sharing the name, but Lexi is interested in knowing the name of the ad company you did use for your ads. You don't have to share it. if you
So
want
we're
to, you can.
using, no, I can. We're using Horizon Digital, and they're based out of Canada. And
There you
they're a
go.
small team, but they're scrappy and they'll get the job done.
Fantastic. Well, before I let you go, I want you to join me. I like to share what we call our Engage Digital Marketing News of the Week. I share that during every show. It's a piece of news, a trend, a snapshot of something that's new in the world of digital marketing. And of course, with our series focus on Shopify and e-commerce, for this series, every piece of our news of the week will also tie into that world. So I'm going to share that. We'll have a little powwow, and then I'll share with our audience how they can connect with you, Jennifer. So, this week's news of the week, we are looking at TikTok. So, here is our news of the week this week, everybody. As TikTok continues to grow and become a key culture driver in many regions, many advertisers are logistically considering how they can tap into the platform in order to boost their promotions. But marketing on TikTok is different from other platforms. Most specifically, in that TikTok users respond better to native style content. I can't say this word. Arguably, that's a hard word for me. More so than on other platforms, which is true. I think on Facebook, if you're just, scrolling around, you're doing your stuff and you see an ad on the side that catches your eye, it may have nothing to do with what you're doing. But if it's in your world, you're going to be interested on Instagram and TikTok specifically because of the way the platform is. If it's more native to what you're used to looking at, you're more likely to look at it. So the full screen short form nature of TikTok clips means that interruptive approaches are less successful. So you really need to align with the norms and the trends of the For You feed in order to maximize branding impact. So how do you do that? Well, TikTok recently partnered with IPSOS to conduct hundreds of brand lift studies to glean some more insight into the branded content elements that are driving the best response. And some of the tips that study has shared with us is that using characters in your clips is a great way to not only kind of blend in, but be of interest to people. And also custom songs. That is also something that has worked. Now, if you want to learn more about the results of that study, you can go to socialmediatoday.com. And for those of you watching, if you want to screenshot this, I will go ahead and put the full link up for you. And I will share that in the comment section as well. So, what do you think about this idea that in order to be successful on TikTok, it makes a lot of sense. You want your ads to really almost look like they belong, right? They look like they're actual curated content from somebody on TikTok, and not look like an advertisement is really what we're hearing. Have you dove in too much to TikTok? I know you said that's really on your horizon to-do list for 2022. What has been your experience with TikTok?
It is. It is. TikTok is so much fun. Like, I mean, just even, as a non-business, but I just find it so much fun, and it is completely different than Instagram. And what we found success in is we're very small in TikTok, but we are looking to grow it. We're finding that just having very real, conversations, funny, anything funny, like speaking of the dogs, like I brought our dogs into the office once a week, and we did little TikTok videos with them, and they're really cute. But like you said, just we look for the songs, we look for the hashtags that are trending, but it is really but kind of like a behind the scenes look at things, and just being very kind of real and authentic. And it's not this beautiful curated sort of visual like that you would have on Instagram, for example. So that's what
Or
we're
on your
finding as a
website,
brand.
right? Or on your
Or on
website.
your
On your
website,
website,
yeah.
you're gonna have a
TikTok,
more curated look to your photos and to
totally,
your
yeah.
ads and to the way things
I
look, right?
totally. I would say that TikTok is just more of a kind of behind the scenes, how things really work, just kind of silly and funny. And in a lot of ways, it's really refreshing for us because it doesn't have to be this perfectly curated thing. So that's how we're approaching it. I mean, we're very small on TikTok. We are looking to grow. We're also going to be, one thing I would recommend is find your niche and really focus on your niche there. We're just learning this. When TikTok started, we were kind of scratching our heads going, what do we do here? It's so different, but we're finding our way slowly. So I'm going to look at this article on social media today to get some tips and tricks. But there's also ways you can promote your own posts. So if you create something that to like gain more followers and get more views, you can also boost a post. So we've been doing a little bit of that, just kind of playing around. But it is such an experiment for us as well. But there's and also the other thing that I love to do is when somebody follows you, say hi and say, hey, like, welcome to our TikTok page, and we're so also creating the community in that way. So it's really interesting. It's learning as we go, but it's such a fun, it's so fun and so real, and that's kind of like why our team really like it. It's just kind of silly and fun, and it's refreshing in a way.
What's funny is I'm in the middle of a month-long bet to stay off social media for a month, which has been so hard for me to do, but it's a cash bet and I've got a wedding to pay for. So I said, I will do it. So I've got 14 days and I can go back on social media.
Wow.
But speaking even from my own, I'm, a micro influencer on social media, and even trying to grow my own, follower growth and posts and interactions and engagement. I just learned it's always the videos that don't look so perfect and, maybe break some of the rules that actually get the most engagement. I had a video recently, a fart video, get 150,000 views on Instagram. Okay. I've done probably 50 Instagram reels. I should say reels. It wasn't a video, it was a reel. And I've put so much thought and energy into them. And maybe they get 5,000 if I'm lucky, maybe 6,000 on a good day, right? Maybe only 1,200. But to see this silly video, not even great quality of my dog and a silly fart noise and a reaction, to have that go essentially viral and get 150,000 views, it was a reminder to myself that truly at the end of the day, social media is meant to look and feel and be organic and in the moment and maybe not so planned. And that's a lesson I think any business can take. So definitely everybody watching, especially Lexi, if you're watching, take a look at this article from Social Media Today. I dropped it in the comments section. And with that being said, that is our Engage News of the Week. Now, I want to share with all of you watching, and hey, if you're listening on a podcast replay, you can find that article at socialmediatoday.com. But I do want to share with all of you watching how you can connect with Miss Jennifer McKay Newton after today's show. You can find her on LinkedIn, and I'll spell out her name for those of you listening on the podcast. If you're watching, her name is right there on the screen. It's LinkedIn, and it's Jennifer, Jennifer, just how it sounds. And then McKay, McKay, last name Newton, Newton, like a fig Newton. And if for some reason you can't remember her last name, think of candles, think of the smell of fig. She said she felt it was boring. And then remember Fig Newton. And let's talk about your website, definemefragrance.com. What can our audience find there, especially if they're looking to maybe do some shopping, some gifting, if they are into holistic, fragrances that are inspiring and uplifting? Share with us what our audience will find there.
Yeah, we have a really fun, what I would recommend is go on and take our quiz. We have a really fun quiz on there, which is also another good marketing idea, guys, if you want to bring people to your website. People love taking quizzes, and it's just so fun. And it will really narrow down your likes and help you choose your fragrance. We have natural perfume sprays. We have oils. We have all of our stuff we've won lots of awards in the past 7 years. So you're in good hands with our products. We have a hair fragrance mist that's amazing. It's anti-frizz. We have a crystal infused series. If you're like crystals, we have little real crystals in the fragrances that are so much fun. It's such a hippie boo-boo California thing, and I love it.
My favorite roll-on, I actually have a roll-on, holistic scent that has little crystals in it as well. I think that's super fun.
It is so fun. We also have our Disney collaboration. We have the Ariel fragrance. We have the Mulan fragrance so far. We have whipped body polishes. We're going to be coming out with a beautiful shimmer oil, body oil over the summer. Not everyone knows about that. So that's going to be coming out probably end of April. But, we have lots of products and lots of scents for every, taste. It's all inclusive, men, women, and there's a lot of information about the ingredients and each one of our scents on there. So it's a fun
Wonderful.
website. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so excited for you. I want to congratulate you on all of the success, building a brand
Thank
really
you.
from the ground up and taking so many opportunities to grow and scale, not being afraid to reach out for help and looking for companies, like ours and other
Mhm.
companies, in the space of ads and apps and obviously Shopify to help you do that because obviously you stand behind your product. You're super passionate about it. I can feel that even through the screen. So you guys don't forget to check out definemefragrance.com. I'll pop it up on the screen for you again. Check out Jennifer's brand. She's super passionate about it. They donate money to charity, which I think is so wonderful. And they've had some really great successes along the way. Obviously, today we learned about some of their pain points, but I think learning from other people's pain points and figuring out things that have helped brands and companies like Jennifer is what our series is all about. So, Jennifer, I want to thank you so much for joining us on today's show and sharing a little bit about what has helped you be successful on Shopify.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of the year, and I'll look forward to hearing more about all of your brand successes now and into the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
What an awesome guest and an awesome way to really go behind the curtain of such an aspirational beauty brand like Define Me. Jennifer was a fantastic guest. Please connect with her on LinkedIn if you're interested in knowing more about her brand, or maybe you can help her brand as she continues to grow and scale in a world that she's super passionate about. If you're just joining us and maybe you missed today's show, rest assured our show will be up in our show library. And you can find our show library by going to www.engage.com/live-show-library. Here's a look at what our live show library looks like. You'll be able to find Jennifer's replay. We also have a podcast library as well if you prefer to listen to her show via podcast. And as I mentioned, her show will be added in the next probably 48 hours. So check that out, engage.com/live-show-library or the podcast, engage.com/podcast-library. All right, everybody, without further ado, I think I'm going to just let you know who we have coming up next week on Tuesday, March 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern. Our guest is Lydia Martinez. She will be joining us to teach us how to grow our food and beverage brand on Shopify. She is an entrepreneur, a marketing agency founder, and a Shopify expert. She'll share how to solve some of the biggest pain points when it comes to food and beverages and selling them online. So join me next Tuesday, March 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern for our show with Lydia. I want to thank you all so much for joining us and remind you to check out engage.com. And also visit us at Engage on LinkedIn. Look for the rainbow colored cog wheel and you spell our name Ngagge, and continue to look forward to big announcements as we get ready to launch our first ever SMS messaging for Shopify app. If you're on Shopify or you have an e-commerce business, if you're not using SMS, you're missing out on so much business, as we just heard from our guest today, Jennifer McKay Newton. So SMS is where it's at, 98% open rate. Make sure you check out the Engage SMS messaging for Shopify app coming out very soon in the month of March 2022. Okay, everybody, that is it for today. I want to thank you all for joining me. Don't forget to share the link to this show if you have a colleague or a friend that might benefit from Jennifer's dialogue today. And of course, don't forget to reach out to her, Jennifer McKay Newton, on LinkedIn. Drop her a note, tell her you saw her on the Engage show. And don't forget to visit www.definemefragrance.com. Not only a wonderful business, super aspirational, but I love the fact that they also give back to communities around the world. That is all for today. I want to thank you again so much for joining us. Have a great day and happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye-bye, everybody.